Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Snotling Team Setups. We are having a look at basically some deployment guides for all the teams available in Blood Bowl 2020. We're looking at offense, defense, and we're going to talk through some of the positionals, where you should put them, what to watch out for, and we'll kind of talk through some examples of playing against a tough team or a weak team and when you want to score quickly. The whole idea is if you watch one of these for a team you're playing with or against, you'll get some good ideas of the best positioning to put them and some of the things to watch out for. So Snotlings are a really interesting team. You get a ton of cool positionals, but really the only things that can fight properly are your trolls and your pump wagons. So let's talk through the key first of all. We got T for troll and P for pump wagon. Everybody else is listed as a lineman here. So when we go into offense, we'll look at hoppers and stilties a little bit, but when you are playing defense, it doesn't massively matter. Before we even break into that, there's one little catch here. You've got 3 orange dudes. When we're doing these setups, we have taken into account that swarming is between 1 to 3. So when you have a team that has a lineman with swarming, in fact just a player with swarming, once you've set up, you can roll at D3 and you can add up to 1, 2 or 3 players onto the pitch that can't be in the wide zones and they can't be on the line of scrimmage. So for each of these setups, we've kind of looked at, if you get some swarming players, where are they going to go? We are building these setups without that because the thing is with Snotling teams, they're cool, they're great fun, but they fall apart quite quickly. So you may start the game with swarming, but there is a very good chance you won't go into the second half with much or any swarming at all, basically. Think about it. You're losing pump wagons because they're secret weapons, and you're losing Snotlings because they are armor 6+ and strength 1. So there's definitely the element of you're going to start sometimes with a massive numerical superiority, but you need to be able to play and deploy as if you don't have that. So when it comes to the defense, we've got 2 defenses for you when it comes to Snotlings. We're going to start with the spread defense here. It's very similar to what a lot of teams do. What we've gone for with this one is not deploying your trolls on the line. So I guess the first shout here is we'll break down what you've got. So you've got 3 Snotlings on the line. They're labelled L because stilties are S's, hoppers are H's. You've got 3 Snotling linemen on the line. Your team should have probably riotous rookies, and so you should have a reasonable bench. So if those 3 just melt away and die, that is fine. But there is a clever element here. So this is not just I put those 3 people there to die and not worry about them. This is what we do. So they've got sidestep and dodge. So your opponent is going to get 3 dice on them. It doesn't matter how hard they push you, they are only going to get 3 dice. And basically they are always going to get 3 dice. Unless they've got block and tackle, which is potentially possible, especially if you're playing against dwarves, the Snotlings are probably going to be okay. There's a good chance they're going to survive. And that's where sidestep comes in. So there's 2 choices here. When your opponent, because what they're going to do, you've set up on defense, you've got your defensive line right there, and you've got the rest of your team here ready to play in phase 2, essentially. Your opponent is going to attack your Snotlings, okay? The first thing they're going to do is secure the ball, then they're going to go for the free blocks on the line. Now, these guys have sidestep, so you get to choose where you want them to go. Alright, there's a good chance that they'll die when they get there, but until that point, you get to choose them. So, you can do 2 things. One is the most simplest. The most simplest? The simplest of all? You've got a troll, you've got a pump wagon, you've got another troll here. They all have really stupid, so to activate they need to make sure they have a player without really stupid standing beside them. Now where we've deployed, we've made sure there's at least 1 player right ready there, but where you've got sidestep here on these linemen, the 2 edge linemen here are able to back away using sidestep and into one of the 2 squares that are going to help support that troll. Now, there's a chance that guy's going to go down and explode, but there's also a really good chance that that's not going to happen. And then you've got built-in protection here to make sure that your trolls and pump wagons can actually activate on something better than a 4+. So the first kind of option is to move these guys backwards and support your really stupid players. The second thing you can do, which is incredibly aggravating if you're playing against these guys, if you are running humans and you put linemen on the line, they're going to get 3 dice. These Snotlings are not going to go down unless they roll POW. They are going to wander their way up And every sidestep you get takes you one step closer to their backfield. In fact, the first sidestep gets you into their backfield technically. And the reason you want to do that is because, alright, they're movement 5. But Snotlings have stunty, titch, dodgy. Okay, they go 2+ everywhere. So it's not just they've got movement 5, so they can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, they just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a straight line as if you're not there. So if you can sneak into your opponent's half, every single square that you get closer to where the ball is a potential for you to get in there and stand next to the ball carrier. Now, there's always fun to take a 3-die up blitz. It is always fun, but it's not recommended. But if you can tag their ball carrier or the side of their cage with a snotling, you are going to rob them of one or more activations. Even if they're playing, they've got zombies, and you tag a cage, or you tag a zombie in the backfield. That's 40k. Your guy, 15k. And you didn't even pay for him anyway. So it's basically punching up 3 times their TVOP, their team value on pitch. And that's where Snotlings gain their percentage of victory here. Is because you can use that sidestep to just sneak these guys onto the other side of the pitch. And then you can make the occasional 2+ dodge to get somewhere where you really don't want to be normally. But if your guy is right there, slap bang in the middle of 3 players, he's going to get blocked a lot. But unless they roll a POW, you're going to be able to sidestep around and just maintain that interference. And if that Snotling can tag 2 or 3 linemen, 2 or 3 players in the backfield, you are then playing 8 players on their team against 10 on yours. Or potentially 13 if swarming has paid off. So that's where you get that extra bunts, that extra win. So that's why when you're playing Snotlings, I recommend the 3-5-3, because those 3 Snotlings on the line, one of them might die, but the other 2 are going to sidestep into positions you want them. Maybe one comes down here and supports a troll, and the other one just wanders into the other side of the pitch. It gives you options. What you can do alternatively is look at this setup here and drop a troll. There we go. Maybe even swap them with the lineman if you want. The whole point there is that you've got the trolls on the line. So on the one hand, it denies your opponent those free blocks. On the other hand, it means your trolls are tied up, because while your Snotlings can disengage on a 2++, your trolls really cannot. And then if your opponent does find a way to take out one of the Snotlings supporting a troll, then it's only doing stuff on a 4+, and you've just lost a ton of your team. So having the team deployed back here gives you that option. So you're doing all kinds of cool sidestep stuff on the front line there. Then you've got your secondary, and your secondary essentially consists of an entire Blood Bowl team. Flanks are defended by Snotlings. They are permanent Snotlings, and that is okay. If they get smashed into, they're going to sidestep around. So they're not going to get surfed. You don't need to worry about them being surfed. One of them's going to get blitzed potentially and maybe even die, but that is fine because you've got all these guys left. If they want to blitz at a troll, they're going to have to do that with a big guy and go all in on it. And then they're going to find themselves in striking range of your counter punch here, which is the pump wagon. So if you ignore all the orange players, you can see that this L is supporting this troll. This guy's supporting this troll. We've got 2 drop-down options here from the line if you're worried about that. And then you've got this lineman who is technically shielding your pump wagon. Now, pump wagons have only got movement 4, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. So they've got this nice little box here where they can attack things. And then you've got trolls as well who've got kind of nice little counter-strike range there as well. So bearing in mind that you have essentially got 3 big guys in your backfield, yeah, they're really stupid and they need some babysitting, but you've got numbers to make that happen. Your opponent is actually going to find it quite difficult to wander in. The best counterplay that you're going to find your opponent use here is to swing down, try and take out this Snotling on the edge. If it doesn't work, whatever, or you get the chance to sidestep your Snotling here, and even if as long as it's not removed, they have no choice but to kind of come in closer to your team. They may tag your troll here, but they cannot tag this pump wagon. So if they come down here and start setting up a beachhead on your side of the line, if they're a fast team, you can then swarm with little guys and just get in there and be aggressive and defensive. You can take a cheeky pump wagon blitz if you've got range. Otherwise, there's nothing wrong with just tagging all the edges with Snotlings, and honestly, just trying to take a 3-die blitz with one of your throwaway Snotlings, because why not? What's going to happen if it does go wrong? If it goes right, it's amazing. The other thing is if you're playing a bash team, what they're going to do is they're going to fall back, secure the ball in their half, try and wipe out your front line, and then you will have a lot of space. You may get one blitz, and it may well be either against the troll or one of your edge pieces, but don't even worry about it. That will leave the most of your team here ready to go in a counter-offensive, or you can just wait for them, or you can throw stuff at them. There's just a ton of great stuff. And talking of throwing, you'll see that on here I have not put the Bombardier. Put him wherever you like, it doesn't matter. I mean, don't put him on the line, that's a terrible idea, but honestly, put him here, put him here. I recommend here or here, okay? Yes, there's a good chance you're going to fumble and blow up the troll, but there's also no way to immediately blitz him. So that gives you a bit of benefit as well. So I would probably, if you've got some fungus flingers, then I would say these two spots, or probably just one, because you can only throw a bomb once per turn. One of those two, making the fungus flinger, throw bombs, support your troll. Troll blitz is not great, but it's worth a shot. But actually, trolls will maneuver, become terrain. Your pump wagon can use that juggernaut to blitz, and then you just mop up and foul with the rest of the snotlings. Your movement isn't great. You've only got 5 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so anything deeper than that is going to be evading you, essentially. That's a long way to go, though, if you deploy this far back. Okay, gutter runners are going to end up here with a side gauge at best on that turn. He can strike, he can strike, he can strike. Pump wagon can probably go for a cheeky blitz or just get in the fence. That's fine. If you're playing against a fast team, you're going to struggle with that. The only thing to do would be to deploy your trolls in the wide zones, but they are going to be unsupported and isolated, and then your opponent can just swoop down through the middle. You're playing snotlings. You are punching up no matter what. So this defensive setup gives you the best chance to react to any offense. You've got a lot of choices. You've already made a terrible one running snotlings, so you're clearly playing for fun. This just gives you the maximum chance to run fun. Blitz, troll wanders in, these guys foul things, this guy bombs things. You're going to have a great time. Slight alternative defense here is instead of spreading wide, you just give the flanks to your opponent. So what this does is it consolidates your strength a little bit more, protects all your big guys. So if you're playing against a more bash team, this might be a way to go if you're just willing to concede that front line, and be aware that if they're a slow team, they're not going to get much past here anyway, and that just means you've got the whole mass of your team here. Now, a smart coach will tag the corner of your counter cage. That actually plays into your hands a little bit, because these guys are 2+ dodge. They don't get tagged. They never get tagged, and they can put themselves in positions where they give assists, and 3 assists with a snotling gives another snotling a 2-die block against most players, and you've got spare snotlings, and you've got pump wagons. So even if they tag this dude here, there's no reason you can't drop him back, bring him up, and then just take a 2-die block with the snotling there, and then follow up with the troll, and maybe just blitz with the pump wagon for their lols. So we've got 2 offensive setups for you, and that's because, like I said, when it comes to snotlings, the plan is always the same. You've got no plan, you just need to find a way to make it work, while causing as much death and destruction to your opponent as possible. That's why they're so great. 5-4-2, we've looked at this before, and it works with snotlings as well. So let's have a little bit of a breakdown. And does that button work? Nope. Does that button work? There we go, we've got yellow pen now. So troll on the edge, 2 linemen in the middle, and a pump wagon in reserve. You can play the pump wagon a little bit deeper, but you've only got movement 4. So you can, if you want to be dominant on the line, deploy the pump wagon in the middle, no problem at all. You can still blitz from standing, you can still chuck these guys out with trolls, but having them just 1 square back means that actually if you need to swing out 1, 2, 3, 4 and blitz there, you can do that. You get a little bit of mobility. Putting them any further back really limits your strike range, and if you want to deploy them heavy on one side, well, you're going to love the next formation. This formation here will ignore the 3 additional swarming players, gives you the best opportunity to catch this ball here. Wherever it lands, you've got that movement to move guys down and secure it. You're going to need to screen because your players are relatively slow. Now, we've not put the positionals on here. This depends on how quickly you need to score. If this is the beginning of the half and you're happy to score on turn 4, then you can use your stilties back here and maybe your hoppers up here. Okay, that gives you a bit of offense and defense. Stilty and hoppers, 6 square movement. That's going to cover the majority of your backfield there to secure the ball. Turn 1 with snotlings, secure the ball, then punch things. So troll go boom, and then you've got a pump wagon where you can do whatever you like. You can just blitz through the center and then drop it back and be okay with it. Or if you've decided that you want to go a specific flank, you can do that. But you've got 2 very different teams on offense with the snotlings, right? There's always the long range, go for it, throw a teammate angle. I don't know how... That shouldn't be your first plan. That's more of a turn 8. Why not? Let's go for it. although I do applaud those people who start the half by going for the cheeky throw teammate touchdown. You've got two contingents. You've got these 6 players whose job it is... That's not fair, actually. You've got these 4 players whose job it is to contain the ball, to screen the ball and protect it. And then you've got this contingent here that deals damage for that first turn. That is it. Then you find a way to bring them together into a nice troll snotling cage, potentially. The great thing with snotlings, and I love this so much, is if you've got stilties, if you've got hoppers, you've got a massive breakout potential. So I like having a stilty in the backfield, and I like having my hoppers up front, because that leap gives you a really great chance at a proper breakout if you need it. The stilty's extra movement means they're pretty good at catching the ball, not catching the ball, but collecting the ball, and then bringing it up. You've got your hoppers out front, so that when you move up, and you need to go for a breakout, it's a 3+ leap, followed by 8 squares of movement. That is incredibly fast. And that is with one of your good positionals. Your downside is if you have to use a lineman, well, it's 7 squares at 2++ dodges. It is technically better, but sometimes a leap is going to be able to get you in places, get you to places, and get you out of places that you don't want to be. So I like having the hoppers up front. I like having the stilties down back to collect the ball if you need to. Otherwise, you go stilties wide, you deploy these guys on the line and just go spread offense, which we've looked at before, and just hope you've got enough players in the backfield. Secure the ball, murder the opponent team, and then on turn 2, bring it all together, grind up for a couple of turns, break out, score a touchdown. It's as easy as that, but if you don't have time to play the slow grind game, these guys have got a really solid heavy flank offense. Now, you guys will know I'm a big fan of this because this can really push it to a 2-turn touchdown, put you in a really good position of strength. We've just discussed that hoppers have got an 8 square range with a single 3+. If you've got a team reroll, it's a single 3+. It's 1 in 9 chance that you're not going to be able to basically bomb it. What, a third of the pitch? That's going to be most of the way. So what you need to do is get up the pitch 5 squares, and then you are in touchdown range. Okay, the further you can travel, the better. So, heavy offense, heavy flank offense, stilty in the backfield, stilty in the backfield. Why? Movement 6, you get that extra bit of movement. If you've got swarming, these orange guys are still swarming extra players. If you don't have swarming, be careful of this one here, because there is a line here into the backfield if the opponent rolls a blitz. However, to counter that properly, you need to move another snotling here and drop this one down. It's up to you. I feel like the heavy flank offense should only be used if it's turn 7 or turn 8 and you're hoping for a riot. You've got 2 turns to score, to win or equalise. You go all in on heavy flank. If they roll a blitz, they roll a blitz. That wasn't what you needed anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. The way you play this, you've got a troll on the line, you've got another troll on the line, and you've got a pump wagon loose on the corner. Okay, he's playing the tight end slot, but with no hands. You've got hoppers deployed over here as well. You have several choices here. We're going to assume that these guys are going to be able to secure the ball and through stunty shenanigans get the ball up here to a hopper where you need them to be, or get them to be within 8 squares of getting it to the hopper next turn and securing it. I know it's a big ask, but heavy off. Winning with snotlings is kind of a big ask at times, but you deploy so heavily to the right here. You've got 2 trolls who can block things. You've got 1, 2, 3 players there supporting these trolls as well. So if your opponent does get a blitz and they take this guy out, you've still got a reserve player there to activate that troll. And then you've got the choice. This troll can take a punch, knock him up. This troll can take a punch, knock him up, and then you can follow up. Or you use this troll to punch through this lineman and just cap off this by being there. That gives you a free troll and a free pump wagon. Pump wagon goes and blitzes where you want it to be and forms a corner of the cage. The troll wanders up and forms another corner of the cage. Then you can bring these linemen up to secure, and you've got 2 hoppers there to fill in the gaps and be ready to receive the ball. These guys swoop up, give it to a hopper. If you can keep the hopper safe for 1 turn and keep it within 8 squares of the end zone, you have got a chance at scoring a touchdown. And basically your opponent is going to be forced to do a risky blitz on the ball carrier if they can even get to it, or just make you roll more dice. And any chance you are rolling dice is a chance for you to win, because that's the beautiful thing about snotlings, is they're not meant to win, but sometimes you just roll a bunch of 5s. And that's all you will need at this point, is just to, collect the ball, be able to move it, form a successful cage, not mess up any really stupids or blocks. Okay, there's a lot riding on it, but it can be done, and that's why I absolutely love snotlings. They're underrated. You've got a massive volume of players. So there's a couple of things we haven't discussed. pump wagons and bombardiers. They're secret weapons. When do you deploy them? When don't you deploy them? Honestly, pump wagons are great. Don't deploy them if you've got 2 turns left unless you need to, score and have that extra big guy on there. Bombardiers, they're cheaper than bribes, so you should, most of the time, have 2 fungus flingers on your roster. Chuck them in when you feel like it. They're just doing free actions, and then when they get Hail Mary pass, they're just absolute artillery. You just chuck them down in the end zone, and you just 2+ bomb everywhere. That is really great fun, and because you should be getting 1, 2, 3 swarming players, you don't miss them anyway. So Bombardier, end zone. Pump wagons, don't deploy them if you're going to turn 8, and don't deploy them on turn 6 or 7 if you don't think you're going to be able to score or you're not going to be playing to score. And the solid strategy here of Snotlings is because you've got extra players, your trolls are going to be knocking down stuff. You are going to be able to literally swarm players and knock them down as well. Once you've swarmed a player, once you've knocked somebody down with a guard troll, go for the foul. Guard gives +1, you get +1 assist. That's the best way to do player removal. I just cannot stress enough, that is going to be your road to advantage. You're going to have 16, 17 players. They're going to have 11 or 12. You take out 3 of their players, they are going to really and genuinely struggle because you're going to have 4, 5, 6 more players than them. Strength 1 isn't strength 1 when it's got 2 assists. It's strength 3. It equalises. The downside of this team is you've only got 2 trolls and they're your big hitters. But if you want to learn Snotlings and you want to really go for it, really learn a few things, honestly, just jump on Blood Bowl 2 or on Fumble and don't take trolls. Take an ogre team without ogres, okay? You miss all the positional stuff, but you will learn how to fight with a strength 1 army of sidestep. It is remarkably good. It's all about positioning and incredibly about luck, but it will help you massively. And then when you play with Snotlings, actually you've got some move 6 dudes, you've got some leap dudes, you've got some trolls, you've got a wicked pump wagon, you've got some bombs. It just levels you up. So if you run an all strength 1 stunty, dodgy, titch sidestep team, then when you add those extra bits in, you are going to feel like you've got a real chance to win. And Snotlings have. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap up this video now. Let me know what other teams you want us to do setups for. We're going to get to them all, but the order depends on you. So do let us know. And yeah, we'll be back again soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy dodging. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the show even further, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Or come and join us in our Patreon, link below, where you get early access to our content and monthly competitions. See you later.